Welcome to Alley Chats. I'm Rob Southgate. Today I have with me, this is going to be fun. We're going to talk some horror. I have Nathan Erdel. Am I saying your name right, Nathan?
That's right. Yes.
Okay, good. I knew I was saying Nathan right. So, at least I had something that I was confident in. So, Nathan, tell the audience about you. Who are you? What do you do?
I am a writer and filmmaker based out of Indianapolis, Indiana. My day job, I work for Scarlet Lane Brewery, which is a locally owned, female-owned, operated horror brewery here in Indiana.
That's amazing. That is all awesome.
Not only is it horror, it's a beer. So two wonderful things put together. We do a lot of horror sort of themes and events and such. And through that job, I also run what we call the Spookeasy, which is a horror blog. And then that is transferred into some live events that we're doing at one of our locations.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, Nathan, I'm going to stop you right there. Make sure I get links to these things and we'll put them in the show notes because everybody listening, if you're a horror hound like I am, they're going to be all about subscribing to your newsletter, checking out these events. So make sure I have these notes. Everyone listening, I'm going to put these in the show notes. Sorry to interrupt. Go.
Excellent. No, that's wonderful. So we do a lot of stuff like that. And through Scarlet Lane, we have done one of the many horror sort of events and related tie-ins we've done, I guess you could say, is a beer for Sammy Terry, who is the world's longest running horror host. He is an Indiana horror host. And the new generation of Sammy Terry is also something that I do. I act and I write for Sammy Terry. So we do a lot of live events. We do a monthly live show on his Facebook fan page. That's Sammy Terry fan page on Facebook, where we do a fully produced horror host show. We show a scary movie. There's live segments. There's prizes. There's a whole lot of fun stuff to be had. And then when I get the opportunity, I also write for film. Probably the biggest thing that I've done is I wrote a film called Headless, which was a indie horror film that came out about at this point 6 years ago. And so I've done a little bit of that kind of stuff. You may have seen me on the Travel Channel. If you've seen True Terror with Robert Englund, that's a show that I was a part of where basically, Robert Englund, Freddy Krueger, hosted a true crime sort of travelogue about urban legends and monsters. And then they had these so-called horror experts weighing in, and I was one of those talking heads.
Cool. Very cool. So what projects are you working on right now? What do you got going?
Presently, the most recent project is the Tales from the Cryptic Closet story. And beyond that, mostly working with Sammy Terry. That's my biggest kind of thing right now. On Friday, the 30th of this month, at the Irving Theater, which is in Indianapolis, he is hosting the 90th anniversary of the Boris Karloff Frankenstein.
Oh, yes.
So we'll be doing a live stage show. We'll be showing the film. Scarlet Lane will be there providing horror beers. So it'll be a whole lot of fun. And for that, I'll be up on stage acting like an idiot with my good friend Sammy Terry. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's so great. And Cryptic Closet. Now this... anyone listening to the show knows we're promoting it, but it's more than that. That company, Guerrilla Publishing, is friends with us, and we just want to really draw attention to this project because it's so great. I loved the first two. I cannot wait to see the third one in 3D.
Oh my God.
Your story. Can you give us a gist of your story? Don't you spoil anything. I just want a little gist.
My story is basically what would happen bringing a witch into the modern age and how she may use the internet to add a flair to modern curses. We'll say
sure.
That.
All right.
Sort of inspired by a good friend of mine here in town who runs an online Wiccan New Age store. And there was a story where she was, this is a true story, that she was preparing some bone jewelry and she cut herself and bled on the bones.
Okay.
And I immediately was like, oh, you need to put that on your website and sell them for double the price.
Right.
She sort of laughed it off. And then she made a post on her personal Facebook page. And sure enough, people were volunteering to buy those. And so I just kind of thought about this image of a witch putting together products and bleeding on them. And that kind of made my brain go, all right, well, maybe I can do something with this. And so that's kind of where I go.
I can't wait to read it. I'm a huge fan of this project because I'm a huge EC fan. And I know that was, Julio and Ben, that was really their motivation, was like, we want to get this like EC flavor going again. And they totally have done it. And this third one looks so great. What a great lineup of people involved. I love that they're reaching into the horror community, not just like, hey, here's a comic book writer that could write horror. They're getting all sorts of people. I think it's exceptional.
Oh, so I think they're a great group, man. It's wonderful. I mean, it sort of reminds me of their art. I mean, a lot of the Cryptic Closet's art is mashup between, wrestling or horror. It's two different things, and they put it together, and it's wonderful.
It works.
It's cool. They brought in a lot of people.
Yeah, it works really well. So tell me, with your filmmaking, with your movies, is there any place people can see these? Have you gotten any deals with Shudder or anything, or is it like, hey, you can stream stuff online at my YouTube channel? What's the deal?
So Headless had a prequel film that I'm involved with, very small as an actor. I guess a precursor. It wasn't really a prequel because it happened first, and Headless birthed from that, called Found. And Found is on Shudder right now.
Okay, cool.
Headless can be found at headlessmovie.com, I believe. If not, it's definitely scottshermer.com, who produced the film. Headless we own outright, and so right now you can get it digitally, or you might be able to find it on Diabolic, because we have a couple foreign releases right now. I believe the American Blu-ray is out of print. But as far as all things Sammy Terry, that is sammyterry.com. As far as the Spookeasy and Scarlet Lane, that's scarletlanebrew.com. And then, I mean, most of my stuff can be found that way. And then you can find me on the Travel Channel in repeats.
Yeah, right. We just watched the Robert Englund show, and it's actually your show.
Exactly. My good friend Bobby UK. That's what I call Robert Englund, because we're so
close. There you go.
UK might be in there, but it's really my show. No, totally no.
It's funny because I always do the same thing. We went to a movie premiere last night, and I just have a tiny bit in it. Yet all my posts are about how the movie is about my character and this arc. And I was even harassing the editor last night, going, "You edited out the actual main focus of the film." See, and I have this whole elaborate. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I get that, man.
You know what? Everybody's the main character in their own story. You know what I mean?
That's right. In fact, this show is about me. I'm so happy that you had me on today, Nathan.
Oh, exactly. Well, I'm glad you could be here. Really, definitely.
So, okay, I got a couple of questions now that we've done a lot of promotion for you here and talked about that stuff. Okay, first of all, give me your top 3 horror films.
Oh, geez. You know what? I'm going to go crazy. I'll do something that, because, everybody loves Halloween, all the big ones. But let's see. Brain Scan, 90s horror film.
I know that one.
Nightmare ripoff with Eddie Furlong fighting a demon in the computer. Let's do Silver Bullet. Drunk and Get Juicy versus Reverend Werewolf. Pretty wonderful. And we'll just go with, since I referenced Halloween, we'll go with the original Halloween 2. I think it's a little meaner, a little sleeker. I love the hospital setting, even though, I don't know what hospital has, 3 staff members on staff and no other patients, but still, I buy it. So.
Yeah, it's funny. We just had a conversation about that on one of our other shows about Halloween, because the new film is coming out. And we went back and we were talking about the old ones. And really what we came down to is, those of us that are big fans, you got to watch 1 and 2 together. Watching 2 on its own wasn't the same. 1 is such a masterpiece, but watching them together makes 2 a masterpiece as well.
I would agree with that.
So yeah, those are good choices, man. Really like it. What about horror writers? Who do you like?
Love Uncle Stevie. Stephen King's wonderful. People can bust on him, and when you're at the top, you're going to have people who criticize you, but there's a reason that he's a household industry, and the fact that in America today you have sadly too small of a literacy rate, but you say Stephen King. Everybody knows Stephen King.
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, Stephen King is great. I would say as far as newer writers, Greg Hendricks.
Yes,
is awesome and interesting. And then I mean, this is kind of old school, but I would say not to dead name anybody, but Billy Martin, who was once known by everybody as Poppy Z. Bright, crazy influential writer. Love their work very much. So I would say those three right off the bat.
Yeah, good calls on those. Yeah, I read quite a bit. I've been reading. I've got Josh Malerman right here, and I'm drawing a blank. I was going to give a shout out. Oh, Paul Tremblay. You ever read Paul Tremblay?
I know the name, but I haven't.
Okay. I'm going to recommend it to you and to everybody. And it's not a straight up, I mean, it is. It's a horror novel, but it's not like, Monster in the Closet. It's a book called Cabin at the End of the World.
Okay.
So I get you're reading it. You kind of think you see where it's going. It's not. You think you got it understood. You don't. Something happens that rips your heart out so bad. And he doesn't do it at the end where you think it's the climax. He lets you simmer in it for a third of the book. And he keeps, every time you kind of go, okay, I'm getting into picks the scab again. And you're like, oh my God. By the end of the book, I wrote to him as soon as I was done and I said, I just finished your book. This is a masterpiece. F you. Because you hurt me so bad. I'm not getting over this. And he wrote back, he was like, hey, best compliment ever.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. So I highly recommend that book. I agree with you on all of that. Last year we got to see and meet Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. He's another one, man. I mean, holy smoke, what talent.
I mean, and I tell you, it's a real shame that the Dark Tower series of films didn't work out, because once they get to the point where they need somebody to play young Stephen King, they could have most certainly used Joe Hill.
Oh, could you imagine? That would be great. Well, you know what? Yeah, so they screwed up one, but the way Hollywood works, they reboot and revamp over and over and over. I actually heard the other day that there was talk of a reboot of Dark Tower already on one of the channels like HBO or something, because they were going to do a TV series, and then they pulled out of that when the movie failed. And now I hear, they might be making one of these TV series that's going to run for 12 seasons. Great, do it, give it to me.
I'm all for it. Let's get the right people in there. I'm ready.
Yeah, and I think they should include you. I'm just throwing that out there.
Hey, I'm just waiting for my call. Really, I haven't left my phone. I'm waiting. Ron Howard, whoever has those rights right now, Uncle Stevie, just give me a call.
Just give him a call, man. He's sitting there at the phone. Hey, I got another question for you. Is there any place? I know you're a writer, and this sometimes gets a little bit trickier than the artist, but is there any place people can buy something from you, like a Deviant? Like, you don't have Deviant art. You don't have a page like that, or an Etsy shop per se, or do you?
I don't. I would say if you want to support me and my stuff, I mean, just, follow the Cryptic Closet. You can get volume 2, which I'm in, from their site. You'll be able to get volume 3 pretty soon. Honestly, right now, I'm going to give my shout out to someone else. If you want to support me, go on Amazon or wherever you buy your books and buy Josh Hall's book, Underexposed. This book is about the 50 greatest films that were never made. Josh wrote stories in volume 1 and 2 of the Cryptic Closet. He is also one of our brewers at Scarlet Lane, and he's having some major filmmaking success right now. But his book, Underexposed, is pretty wonderful. And so in lieu of me having anything for people to buy directly from me, I would say either go to sammyterry.com and buy a Goolsby t-shirt. That's my character on Sammy Terry. Buy a Goolsby t-shirt. If you want to buy a book, go on Amazon or Barnes or some maybe more indie sort of bookseller and buy Underexposed by Josh Hall.
Okay. I am looking at it right now. I will put a link in the show notes. Here's the deal. Buy it through the link. It supports Josh. It makes Nathan look good. And if you use the link, we get a tiny sliver of it for our network, which helps keep our network going too. And it doesn't cost you a dime more.
Hey, look at that. Washing hands. Everybody helps out.
I will be ordering this because even the cover looks awesome on this.
Oh, it's wonderful. He was paired. He had 50 movies. Each movie features a different artist creating a concept poster for these movies. So you'll find everything in there from Rob Zombie's The Blob to Cheech and Chong Meet Jason to the Lord of the Rings film that was going to be directed by Kubrick and starring the Beatles.
Yes, which is a fascinating story. Having that in there alone is worth the read, I am sure, because I have read all about that. I bet Jaworski's Dune is in there.
I believe so. I
don't know how you wouldn't mention that,
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's quite a bit. There's I'm trying to pull other titles. Gladiator 2 is in there. Neil Blomkamp's Alien film is in there. It's great. It's a great book. I would definitely recommend it if you like movies at all. If you like, the tales of failed, awesome-sounding Hollywood projects, it's the book for you.
All right, Nathan, I'm going to ask a request. I'm going to ask you to mention to your buddy Josh to come on this show. I'd love to talk to him.
Oh, definitely. I would love to talk.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for being on. Everybody support Cryptic Closet 3 on Kickstarter. Links, once again, in the show notes. Watch these movies. Read Nathan's stuff. Order Josh's book, Underexposed. I mean, there's a lot to do. And then Sammy Terry. Check out Sammy Terry and let him know that you heard about it here from Nathan. That's a good thing.
Do it.
Yeah, man.
Do it right now.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. This was a real pleasure, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on. You guys take care.
You too. You can find Alley Chats on Facebook by searching for @AlleyChats. You can also visit us at our webpage, smgpods.com/AlleyChats, for links to all our episodes and other cool stuff. One easy way to support our show is to rate and review Alley Chats wherever you listen to your podcasts. Those ratings really help us out and help others find our show as well. Alley Chats is produced and edited by Rob Southgate for Southgate Media Group. Be sure to subscribe to Alley Chats because you definitely don't want to miss an episode. Thanks again to our affiliate sponsors, Hunt-A-Killer and Tweaked Audio. Links to them are on our webpage and in the show notes. This wouldn't be possible without them. Our theme song is by Benny and the No Goods. Check out their awesome music at bennyandthenogoods.bandcamp.com. If you're an artist or writer or creative type that would have a table at an artist alley and would like to be on Alley Chats, message us through the Facebook page or email us directly at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com and we'll set up an interview. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with another fantastic show.